Before we started this session, I gave a little assignment, not an assignment, an activity in the chat box where I asked people to literally comment, write your name, your speaking industry, your country, your city, and top 2 topics you can speak on. And from all that I read, 99% of you failed, in quotes, right? I noticed that many of you don't know how to communicate to your industry that you speak in. Many of you don't know how to communicate what it means a speaker topic, right? And that is a challenge. So let me say, for example, I was being asked in that to participate. I could say something, they asked me, what is your speaking industry, right? I could talk about my focus on working with startups or my focus on corporate, training, or my focus on business strategy, right? So some people can be healthcare, agriculture, education, and so on. A few of you got that right, but I think the challenge came from you indicating your top 2 topics. Many of you mentioned under topics, you literally mention industry, because when you say leadership, that's an industry, trust me, that's not a topic, right? So if I was to answer that, I could say something like, okay, Joybert, you are a speaker. Give me your top 2 topics that you speak on. Let me see if I can hire you someday to speak for me. I could say something like, one of my high profile speaking topics is how to extract, package, and monetize your expertise and experience. Under this topic, I help professionals and entrepreneurs to transform knowledge into scalable income and influence. Now, that's a topic. But let's only talk about leadership. We're going to talk about strategic leadership for cultural transformation and national development, for example, right? So when you talk about speaking topic, it's a topic that you have sat down as a speaker in your room, in your private, and you craft it. You see, for example, personally for me, I have almost 300 speaking topics that I've crafted, tailored, kept. If you ask me, depending on what I focus on, I will always tell you exactly this is my speaking topics. Because many times people reached out to me and they're like, we want you to come speak in our event. Can you give us your top 3 speaking topics that will enable us to pick one for you to speak on? So there are some clients that will give you their topic, but most of the times, some clients will respect your expertise and ask you for a topic based on the theme of their event or based on the industry that they are in or based on the type of participants that they have in that event. So they want to trust you that, oh, because you're an expert, you carry out research, you do different things as a speaker, you will know the best topic that can communicate to the people, all right? So one thing that you must be good at as a speaker is be very clear about the industry that you represent and you speak on or in, and always have your top speaking topics ready, right? So next time when they ask about speaking topic, like many of you said, don't say things like, career development. Don't say things like, what else did I see? Suitable management, human resource, things like that. Those are not topics. Those are literally sometimes that just literally industries or sub-industries per se. But can you craft a topic that can show the problem that you're solving and the transformation that people are going to experience after you talk to them? Right? It's very important to have that. Okay. All right. So the purpose for this session again is to show you a blueprint, something that you can apply that will enable you to be able to be a, a high profile speaker, a speaker that is highly sought after and highly paid. You see, in speaking, you can get paid a million, 2.5 million, 5 million, 10 million to speak for 1 hour, 2 hours. It's very possible. I have done it over and over and over, right? So, however, there are some things that if you don't have them in your life as a professional speaker, you will never see it. You will never see those things that other people get to enjoy in this particular speaking business. And let me tell you something, speaking is a highly relevant and sought after industry because the society is made up of people that don't want to pay the price to learn, right? For example, I enjoy sitting for 6 hours, 7 hours to study and research. 99% of the world doesn't like to do that. They like to sit for 6 hours, 7 hours watching TV shows and seasonal films, right? So there will always be people who are willing to pay you for your expertise and for your ability to communicate your value. However, there are some things that if you don't know how to do, you will always be at the bottom. Let me tell you something. Every industry is like a pyramid. The bottom and then the top. So the elite are at the top, and then the average people, the ignorant people, the guesswork people, the confused people, they're at the bottom here. People that, they are paid to speak, they're not paid to speak. They're like, I bet, can you come and talk? Right? Who has ever experienced that? I've experienced that in the earlier part of my career. They're like, please, can you come and, right? Which is normal at the beginning. But if you stay at that level for years, it's now as a result of ignorance and lack of strategy. So years ago, when I came across the information that, hey, in other countries, especially in the United States, in the UK, in Canada, and in South Africa, speakers are well-to-do people. They are not beggars. They get paid so well and they are highly respected. I was like, then what am I doing in this country? Right? So I decided that I'm going to figure out how to rise as a speaker in Cameroon and Africa and become highly sought after and get paid so well. Right? And that's something I've done because I have lived in the last 10, 15 years, 13 years today or so exactly, that I don't have a job. I live from speaking, training, speaking, coaching, and so on, right? And this same thing has taken me from Cameroon to 18 countries. They always say that the only reason I get to travel to different countries is because I'm invited to come and speak. And for these things to happen to you, especially if you are a young speaker or you are still starting when I say young speaker, you can be 50 years old and you're young in the industry. All right. So being a young speaker can be as your age per se, or you are older, but you're new in the industry. You're a young speaker, right? So there are some things that if you don't practice them, you don't know how to do them. I am telling you, you can be 20 years in this industry and people are still coming to you and saying, please, can you come and speak? I beg, can you come and speak? Nobody asks you, how much do you charge for 1 hour to speak? Nobody asks you that, right? Because there are things that when you do, it now positions you, or they now position you for you to be able to command that particular premium price. All right. So, from my personal research and studies and practice, I have been able to document over 18 principles that, if you apply, they can enable you to become a premium public speaker, where you can charge premium public speaking fees. And funny enough, these things are things that if you do them also, they can bring you to the global stage. Right? Like one young speaker from Cameroon came and asked me one time, what can I do so that people also pay my flight tickets and hotels to go to different countries and speak like you? I'm like, are you sure you want to pay that price? Right? But he wanted the global stages. He wanted to be on the global stage. Right? But there were some things that he didn't know how to go about it. So I will not be able to cover all the 18 principles here because these are things that when I'm doing on a private masterclass, I take about 6, 7 hours to teach. Okay. So I am going to give you a few of them, and the few of them will be enough to apply. For those of you who are in my public speaking academy, which is a high profile one, I hardly publish that in public a lot because it's very exclusive. You are going to get all of this as you continue your studies, all right? But I'm going to cover some key things here that if you, it doesn't matter where you are, it doesn't matter if you are just starting, you're a few years in the industry, if you want to start producing results at a different level, when you open your mouth and you talk, these are things that you have to sit down, be diligent, and get them into your life. Warning, this doesn't work for lazy people. This will not work for you if you are not diligent and committed. If you are one of those people that you cannot sit yourself down, study for 4, 5 hours consistently, then it's not for you. Because nobody in the world will ever pay 1 million francs, 5 million francs to somebody who cannot command high level intelligence in the industry. It's not for you. So if you're here and you're one of those people that a whole year can pass and you can even read, that you are lazy, 10 books a year, it's not for you. Trust me. Let me be very clear. I'm not giving you a magic wand. I'm giving you a process that you have to pay the price to go through. All right? Because it is witchcraft for you to be desiring somebody to remove their hard-earned 2 million francs, 5 million francs, even 10 million francs, or even pay your flight ticket to Europe, to North America, to Asia, wherever, put you in a 5-star hotel for $1,000 a night or whatever, and then you come and say nonsense or say something that they can find on Google easily. Then you are not ready to become a premium speaker who can charge a premium public speaking fee. Okay? So it's important to have that understanding. Very important. All right? So let's get into the principles, and I challenge you. If you can pay the price, pay the attention, the commitment to apply these things, give yourself a few months, you will start seeing new types of results in what you do. All right. Now, the first principle, they are not really in order. It depends on where you are in your journey. So, but all of them works for you, that they can work for anybody, right? All right. Number one, what is the first principle that you need to learn if you will be able to start, charging a good amount of money? For some people, your premium pricing could be 500,000 francs for 1 hour. Some people, you will need to start with 300,000 francs, and you are leveled up with premium fee, right? For some people, you may need to start thinking of charging 1 million francs, 2.5 million francs, 5 million francs. It's possible, all right? So what is the first principle? Now, let me say this first. I am not focusing to talk about impact and transformation because that is not the focus for today. But you know that if you're passionate about speaking, it means that you're passionate about creating impact and transformation in the lives of people. You have no business calling yourself a speaker if you don't have the capacity, the passion, and the ability to open your mouth and somebody experience significant impact and transformation. You don't have the business to being a speaker. So I am not focusing on that because I want to believe that we have the understanding that we are operating from that same level of realm and commitment. That apart from the money, we are agents of impact and transformation. Now, another sad part of this is that I've heard people say that, I want to be a speaker not for the money, I just want to create impact. That is somebody, that is ignorance talking and and lack of revelation talking. Because, for example, I create a lot of impact because I am a full-time speaker. Sometimes in a month, I speak, I deliver almost 20 something speeches. I cannot do that if I am a broke speaker or I'm not being paid well to speak. You're a better speaker if you are making good money out of speaking. Okay? If anybody who says that, oh, I am in speaking so that I don't make money, that is poverty mentality, poverty patterns, and poverty background speaking from you. Somebody who has the right mindset, you will like to start getting paid well from speaking so that your full-time life is to speak. You will create more impact in your lifetime and more transformation if you are a full-time speaker. Okay? So you need that money very well. So you focus on being a good speaker and a full-time speaker so you can truly create the impact you think that you would like to create. Okay? So if you have that kind of negative stronghold, remove it from your head. Okay? You are out there to speak, so you get paid to speak and also create transformation. You need the two in your life. I always say that show me somebody who hates their profession. Show me somebody who hates what they do. Three things are lacking in their life: impact, influence, and income. Show me anything that you are doing. And in that thing, you are creating impact, you're becoming influential, and you're making some good income. You will love it. Oh, you will love it. Right? So you need to be able to learn how to get these things into your life. All right. All right. First principle. What is the first principle that you need to apply to be able to start charging premium fees as a public speaker? When I say premium fees from Cameroon context, to me, your personal opinion, £1 million upward. That's premium fees for me, Cameroon context. United States context, North America, Europe, to be fair, $5,000 and above for 1 hour to speak. All right. There are some people that premium fees to them is $50,000. Right. So, but when I say premium fees, Cameroon context, I want you to start thinking of how can I get to that level where they pay me £1 million for 1 hour of presentation. That is premium fees I'm talking about. Okay. All right. What is the first principle? Practice what I call target premium pockets. Target premium pockets. You see, one of the best things you can know how to do as a speaker is to identify who in your industry can pay the premium price you're asking for. Not everybody can pay a premium price. Yes. So if you will ever get to that level where you can ever charge a premium fee and get paid, one of your assignments is research and know, as far as your industry is concerned, who has the deep pockets, the heavy budget to pay the premium fee you're asking for. Because I understood that, for example, for me in my own industry, I specialize in business strategy, execution, things like that. And so I understood that, in as far as I'm concerned, as far as Cameroon is concerned, especially, only corporate institutions and certain people of social status can organize events that can pay me premium fee. So I started targeting them. Before that time, my focus used to just be with talking with friends who organize events here and there, right? And maybe some youth NGOs. Those people are mostly broke people. Most people that you speak for them are broke people. They're just trying to make life also happen for themselves. So if you think that you will ever get paid by just speaking among your friends, you would never charge premium fee because they cannot afford it. Or number two, if your major target are just youth organizations, local community organizations, Can you create impact there? Yes, but they cannot pay you premium fees. So you need to aim higher. Begin to research. Okay, in this my industry, which top corporate organizations or which influential set of people who have high social status and who organize events, who are they in my industry? Find them. You need to do your job, do your part, and get into their radar. Because if you are desiring to be paid premium fee and you are not in contact with people that have deep pockets to pay premium fee, you will be there after 20 years and nobody can ever give you 1 million francs. You see that? Because here's the fact. Not everybody can afford your fee. Right? You need to understand that. Not everybody can afford your fee. So you need to deliberately focus on either corporate institutions or high status individuals, organizers who organize events and begin to penetrate those premium circles. That is your responsibility. So what do you need to do? Number one, identify who pays premium. Number two, study their event patterns. Very important. This is something I did. Study their event patterns. What are you looking at here? You are trying to observe what type of events that they organize. Number two, which type of speakers do they invite? These are two important patterns to study. For example, you notice that, I'm in Cameroon or Nigeria. Oh, United Nations Development Fund, based on my speaking topics, based on my industry, they are the people that can pay me well to speak someday. Okay, that's good. You now need to study their event patterns. Number one, what type of events do they organize? Do your research, go to their website, read, go to their Facebook page, read. Number two, look at their previous speakers. Yes, you need to know which type of speakers do they invite. So you now measure with yourself, not to compare, but to see, the kind of big names they invite, the kind of expertise that they're looking for, I don't have it yet. So what does that mean to you? You start paying the price to develop that capacity so that someday they can have you. Now, this kind of studying their pattern gives you insight into what they value and the language they respect. People that will ever pay you 1 million to speak, 2 million to speak, 3 million to speak, 10 million to speak, there is something they value and there is a language that they're looking for. And many people don't command that language. And then step 3 under this point 1 is position your value clearly. Position your value clearly in a way that they can find you. Design your message around transformation in what they're looking for. There are some of you that you say you're speakers. If I go to your social media pages right now, you only share entertainment and funny stuff that don't make sense. You don't share things that appeal to decision makers. I can give you many experiences where somebody will come and tell me that, we studied your social media for 2 days before we decided to invite you to come and speak. If somebody spent 2 days on your social media, can what they see appeal decision makers to invite you? Let's be serious. See, here's the factor. Premium buyers, premium organizations who can pay you premium fee, they pay for impact, thought leadership, and reputation. And in this social media generation, they can find it on social media. See, many companies don't pay for motivation and inspirational. No, they look for something more. All right. And then another important step in this area is create proposals and show exactly how your speech or expertise connect to the organizational goals. Yes. When you identify premium pockets, sit down, write professional proposals. Either you go to their office or you send them an email. In that proposal, you're doing one thing. You are trying to connect your area of expertise and your speech to their organizational goals or to their event goals. Because when you personalize proposals like that, it gets better responses instead of generic requests to be added as a speaker. Oh, can you add me as a speaker on your event? No. Premium organizations don't add people like that. They add people that carry something that connects to their goals. And how can they discover you? Your ability to build several proposals and email to them. The worst thing that can happen to you is they can reject you and know it's okay. I have been rejected. In short, I am still being rejected. And that's life. So many of you need to go and learn how to write speaker proposals. And then take the bold step. Send professional emails, attach the proposals, or print it, go to their office, drop it there. The worst that can happen is no, or they stay silent, which is okay. Life happens. I have dropped proposals and they contact me a year after or years later. All right? And then number 5 under this, you see, I'm just teaching 1.1 out of 18. Okay. So number 5 out of this, step 5 out of this is enter their spaces intentionally. Enter their spaces intentionally. There are some of you that the only events you only attend events of your family members and friends and people in your community. That's why you never get paid by people that make sense. You need to many times go to events, not because to speak, go to event that you don't know anybody. They ensure pay the fee. I have paid fees to go to an event. I'm not speaking, nobody knows me there, but I want to enter that space. Yes. Attend their conferences, attend their forums, attend their networking events, build trust face to face. It's very important because that visibility builds familiarity. And then familiarity builds that willingness to your premium fee. It's very important. You see that? So, principle number 1, target premium pockets. And I've given you some few tips on how to do that. Principle number 2, create your own stage of influence. Something just came to mind. Let me say this. One major weak point of speakers is that when they attend an event like this, they want to listen, copy to go and teach, instead of listening to integrate to produce results. That's why many speakers have zero result in their life. They speak good grammar, but very broke or nothing to show for. Be careful of that trap. If you copy this and go teach self, you will teach a lie because you'll be shaking to talk because you are not saying what you have experienced. You are saying what you have never done before. So somebody can even discern that this one is a fake person. All right. So avoid that temptation. Listen, integrate, apply, produce results, then go teach. That is the format to follow. Okay, good. Number 2, the second principle that you need to apply in your life if you want to charge premium fees and get paid. Create your own stage of influence. I will explain. Create your own stage of influence. You see, when I did my research to understand why speakers in the UK, in South Africa, in Dubai, in North America, were charging a good amount of money that I was not charging in Cameroon as a speaker. One pattern I noticed when I studied many of them is that these guys owned their own stage of influence. What does that mean? You see, to better explain this, let me give an example. I created my own high level platforms because there is a value, there is a brand, there is a level of influence and authority that you command as a speaker only when you own your own platform. You see, that's why if you look at in Cameroon, I have platforms, I run platforms like a Date with Success, annual event I organize every year, peak performance conference, executive leadership master classes, strategy and execution master classes. I created different platforms. I own the 8 academies that train different people on different things. Those are my own platforms of influence. Why? Because there are some people that they will never pay you when you don't own your own stuff. That's a fact. That's a fact, right? Because there is a level of value that you bring and that they recognize you for. When you are the kind of person that you stop waiting for invitations, but instead you create your own flagship platforms, right? It could be a conference that you host once every 3 months. It could be a conference you host once every year, but you just create a platform that you own and make sure that it's a good growing platform. Don't create one tattered platform and expect people to honor you for it. No, because when you create a platform is one thing, but ensuring that that platform is a growing platform and creating transformation at your level is very important. And it's a consistent platform. Don't create it and be lazy. Only consistent platforms attract opportunities. There are some things that will only come into your life after 5 years of consistency, after 7 years of consistency, after 10 years of consistency. So the second principle, as a speaker, you need to create your own stage of influence. Create your own platform and invest on that platform. Improve the platform, refine the platform, be consistent with the platform. So how can you apply this? I'm a strategist. I like to talk about how. Very important. How can you apply this? Number one, design a flagship event. Start from there. It can be as simple as you organizing a monthly youth conference in your local church with the young people. As simple as that. A monthly youth seminar. But can you start from there? Can you design a flagship event? Give it a clear theme, a clear focus, and let that focus align with your expertise. Let it align with the type of professionals that you want to impact with your platform. All right? Because events with very clear positioning naturally draw high quality audiences and collaborators. All right? So design your own flagship event. Number two, very important. When you own your platform, please learn how to control the narrative. I will explain what that means. I have many Cameroonians who are speakers and who do their own events. They don't know how to do this. They don't know how to control the narrative. What does that mean? When you own a platform, one thing that you must be good at doing is control the narrative of that platform and use that platform to control a narrative in the industry, even in your nation. How do you control narrative? The way you shape the content, the way you brand the atmosphere, the kind of topics that you drive around that platform, the kind of value and authority that you drive around that platform. Don't create a platform and then you're up and you're just scattered here and there. No. Let the platform be focused on something and let the platform drive a particular narrative in the industry and in your nation. Now, why is this important? because it now enables you as a speaker to build what you can call a consistent public image. It's very important because you need to come to a place as a speaker where somebody can say, we are hiring you because of this that you do. Because they have seen a consistent public narrative or image that you drive. This now attracts premium stakeholders who now share your vision. You see that? Very important. And then the third thing to do under this creating your own stage is document every edition. It's very important. We are in what I call the perception economy, right? And perception is driven a lot by videos, pictures, testimonials. All of these things are important because anytime you're able to communicate evidence of consistent success, it makes you credible before people that can pay you well as a speaker. Right? So investing in paying a photographer, for example, a videographer for your events is something that maybe it will feel as if you're losing money, but hey, it will pay you tomorrow in ways that you never imagined. Why? Because you will now use all of that and begin to drive a particular narrative and a particular public image that will cause people to respect you, honor you, and consequently pay for what you have to offer. All right. And when you create a platform, the fourth thing to do is learn how to scale gradually. This is very important. Learn how to scale gradually. What does that mean? You cannot start your platform today and expect it to be like the platform of somebody who started 5 years ago, 10 years ago. That's why the concept of scaling gradually is very important. So start small, but then raise the level of professionalism with each edition. For example, many of you here must have attended my Date with Success events. I used to organize it annually. But a Date with Success started in Kumbu, right? And then as years go by, I did Boya edition, I did Yaoundé edition, I did Douala edition. Funny enough, I've never done Bamenda edition for the Date with Success, right? And then did it across a few more towns consistently. And then 2022, 2021, we did Dubai edition. But you see, that is an event that started small in a small town called Kumbu, right? But I mastered the principle of scaling gradually. So start small, but focus on raising the level of your professionalism with each edition. For example, in Kumbu, I used to do it in the church. So you can start in a church, edition number 1. Maybe next edition, you can do in a church again, but redesign the church, redecorate the church maybe. And then third edition, you can do it in a hotel hall, or you can partner with a secondary school or university or higher institution and do it there. But you push yourself. Before you know it, on the 5th edition, you may do it in the capital city and even have TV stations to come and cover it and newspapers to come and cover it. You get the perspective. Because when you begin to scale like this growth creates anticipation. It creates the urgency, and it creates that currency that causes, other organizations like, hey, this thing is becoming something serious. We need to be part of it. They can now reach out and even sponsor you if you want. Oh, yes. I have done events and then I'm just promoting my event. Before I know it, a company reaches out, want to sponsor your event, and they give me some money. I didn't ask them, but they just saw the momentum around the event. And they're like, oh, 8th edition, 7th edition. Oh, nice. We'll have to partner with you. Why? Because of growth and scaling and doing it the right way. Okay? So many of you here, you already own your own platform. Maybe it's a small seminar, a conference, maybe is, I don't know, but you are doing something that you gather people together. That is a good start. But I want to challenge you. Can you set the bar higher every new edition? It's very important. And then one thing I used to do was that I'm going to share another point I remember right now. But just so add before I get there is in some of my events, I used to, when I'm done, I will compile a good report, 5-page report, all of that, and I'll email some important people and organizations because I wanted them to see. Again, it's part of proposals, right? It's a very important thing to do. Okay. When you do that, it positions you as a voice. Are you learning something? Are you learning what you have not heard before as a speaker? Type yes in the chat box. Give me some feedback. All right. Number 3, the third principle to apply. Out of 18, let's keep going. Principle number 3. Deliver consistent intellectual output. Deliver consistent intellectual output. Now, this is where many people fall off. This is where many people fall off as far as this is concerned. Because this one requires a lot of, do I say, hard work and a lot of boring stuff, which many people don't like. If you ever in your life want to be paid a fee that makes sense, you ever want to be the kind of speaker, you see, one of my best experiences was when a US organization hired me to go speak in Ghana. They put me in a 5-star hotel for like 3 weeks. I was living large, right? Very good experience, right? That just came to mind, right? And I'm like, look at this life. If I was doing something funny, which job in this world can they hire you, pay you in millions, put you in a 5,000, feed you well, get a jeep to drive you around for 3 weeks? Which job in this world can give you that except you're the president of a country, right? So I just thought about that to share, and I can give you many other experiences, right? But you see, many people see that in public, but many people don't see the sleepless night behind the scenes that enables you to get that, right? So what am I saying? Principle number 3, as I said earlier on, this is where, how many of you are in this call right now? Let me see. 16. Out of this, maybe just 2 people can apply this. 14 will not do it. I'm telling you, because many people don't like this one. Principle number 3, deliver consistent intellectual output. If you ever in your lifetime as a speaker ever want to experience where a company can write a check for you for 10 million, 5 million, 2 million, 1 million, one thing you must start doing from today is delivering consistent intellectual output in your industry. Your ability to start creating thought leadership content consistently and putting it out there on social media platforms. Because in this business, thought leadership is credibility in motion. Your ability to consistently produce deep, original, practical, relatable content keeps you positioned as an indispensable expert in that industry. And you cannot do this if you are not studious. You are not somebody who sits and study and research and read. You are those people that you don't have the patience and the willingness to sit, let's say, minimum 1 hour every day, just reading high-level expert knowledge in your industry, forget about it. It's not for you. Only people who are at the bottom of the pyramid will pay for your services. You see, elite people at the top, elite of the elite, government agencies, international agencies, private corporations that command money, international NGOs, those kind of people, if they are going to find you and work with you, they will do what they call due diligence. And if a company carries out due diligence on you as a speaker now, at this level of your life now, can they read 10 good quality articles written by you about your industry? Can they read it? So you are not delivering consistent intellectual output, but you want somebody to entrust you with their platform, with their audience, and pay you good money. So what will you come and say? Right? So you have to pay the price to consistently deliver intellectual output from your industry as the expert that you are. You see, one of my losses that every year I publish I publish at least 350 articles. Sometimes it's even more, but that's the minimum. If you go on my Facebook page, LinkedIn, newsletter, you can read article after article after article after article. It is intentional. I am not like somebody always say. Somebody said on social media, who will read this long thing? And I replied, I was not writing for you. And let me say this. Many of you here have that mindset. You don't have the patience to sit and read a long article. And you want to call yourself an expert. Abana, do you trust yourself as an expert? Let's be serious. Do you trust yourself as an expert? Who told you that being a public speaker is about being fluent and talking grammar? I have seen highly paid speakers that their grammar is terrible, but they are paid well. Right? That's a fact. And if you're not paying the price to do that, something is going to do you. Right? Like we said in the streets of Cameroon, something will do you. I'm telling you. Something will do you. So you need to pay the price. All right? Many of you here are guilty. You are guilty of your inability to sit and even read somebody's thought on industry matters. And then not to talk of you being able to sit and write your own article of minimum 300 words. Let me say it here and say it clearly. If you don't have the willingness, the capacity to sit and write articles of 300 words and above in your industry where you claim to be a speaker, please, let us just agree that you have made up your mind.
If you don't come back, no come here.
You have made up your mind not to be a professional speaker. All right? Trust me, it's not for you. It's not for you. You will remain at that level where you are. Familiar faces under your village people will pay for your services. Strangers will never pay for your services. Somebody out of the blue will never reach out to pay for your services. Okay? Somebody says no sound. If you can hear me clearly, write yes in the chat box. All right. Thank you for confirming that. All right. So it is important to do that. So many of you here, there needs to be a shift in your life in terms of building your intellectual capacity so that you can be able to consume quality information, and then being able to know how to contextualize your experiences, your life, your thoughts, your revelation into organized knowledge that you can communicate to other people through writing. A good speaker should be able to write and, of course, to speak. It's very important. Okay? So, how do you apply this? What are some key tips I want to give you when it comes to delivering consistent intellectual output? Number one thing to do is pick your knowledge lane. Pick your knowledge lane. See, one sign that makes you a good speaker is that you have 2, maximum 3 industry themes that you focus on. You pay the price to build deep content around that area. If you are listening to me as a speaker and you don't have 2, 3 core themes in your industry that you want to be a high-level expert in, something is missing from your speaking career. And then under picking your knowledge, under delivering consistent intellectual output, under this topic, under this subtopic of picking your knowledge lane, one thing that makes this critical is that it enables you to avoid random content. You see, random content confuses your brand, but consistent delivery of certain types or body of knowledge builds recognition and authority. You see, a few days ago, a gentleman reached out to me. He commented in my post that I should share his page. And I politely replied, if you ever see me sharing somebody else's content on my page, it is content that resonates with my brand and what I represent. I don't share things anyhow. You see? So it is important, very important. Some of you, if we come on your social media page now, it is more confused than Cameroon government. I don't know why that example came to my mind, but right? Crazy confused. Every junk is on your social media platforms. You post about everything. So if somebody sits on your social media platform, they cannot recognize you for anything. They cannot recognize any team or industry that you represent. All right? So pick your knowledge lane and specialize in. Specialize in delivering consistent intellectual output around those themes or knowledge lane. Go even further, like creating a content calendar. See, there are type of contents that I post every Monday, every Wednesday, every Friday. And I've done that for almost years. Because I need to be consistent with the knowledge themes that I'm communicating out there. Because I need to ensure that my social media demonstrate reliability in my area of expertise. You see that? And then one important thing about delivering consistent intellectual output is learn to mix the formats that you use to deliver. All right? At this stage, we're talking about learn to produce articles, short videos, and maybe some long videos. But start with articles and short videos. Okay? Very important. Because when you produce either articles, short videos, some of you can start doing infographics, right? And when you post them, you are able to serve different audience needs. Because your ability to diversify the various formats, it helps more people to engage with you, and it therefore strengthens your visibility as a speaker. Okay. And a very important thing to do is please practice ensuring that every insight that you're communicating to the public, link those insights to real problems in your industry or real problems that your audience are facing or will be facing. Because people remember speakers or experts who provide solutions, not merely theories and stories. You see? So even if you're communicating a theory, make sure that part of that body of content communicates how that theory can be applied in their daily life. If you are telling a story, ensure that there is a part of that story that leads to application and practice of the core concepts within that story. It's very important. You see this thing I'm telling you, this point three, I'm telling you, it will effortlessly enable you to get people who can pay you very well, and even people that will pay you that are not your friends. Like I said, many of you, since you started speaking, only your close people, close friends, church members, your fellow colleague speakers have ever invited you to speak. No stranger, no organization out of nowhere. No. Why? Because you don't have any intellectual property or intellectual knowledge or output that they are consistently delivering, that they have seen it and they're like, we need this guy. We need this lady to talk to us. We have to pay him for his services. This point three, many people fail here because it is boring to pay the price to be making sure that you study every day to expand your mental capacity and what I like to call industry intelligence. Number two, the patience to seed every day or consistently or 4 times a week and write quality articles, minimum 200 words, 300 words. Many people are not willing to do that. Many people are not willing to pay that price, but they want the results of people who are doing this. How many of you here read from me on my email list or on social media? You can go on my social media pages and check. If you spend 30 minutes on that, you will see hit after hit after hit after hit article. It's intentional, it's not guesswork. And I'm playing an insider game. And let me say this. Don't allow likes to make you feel as if you are not doing well. Many of my articles don't go viral, many of them. But I'm getting clients. That's what matters. I'm not writing for everybody. I'm not writing for the masses. Many people see, go on social media and see what goes viral. Anything that goes viral is consumed by the masses. If you're here looking for likes and comments, you are serving the masses, the poor, the average people. The elite, things that the elite consume, things that directors, CEOs, leaders, people that matter, they consume, things like that don't go viral. I publish articles sometimes and there's no one like. But I know that the people that read it. Very influential people don't have time to like and comment, but they read what you write. That's one thing I learned. Many people reach out to me. We need you to do this. But they'll tell you, I read all your articles, but I've never seen them comment on one. Never. You see that? So you need to be careful. Let me tell you something. If your articles are going viral, you are writing for the masses. You are writing for the average. You are writing for the people in the poverty class. Because articles that are intellectually tasking, the masses don't like to read. And of course, you are not writing for them. So chill. Stop chasing likes. Stay on quality. Once in a while, do I write articles for the masses? Yes, I do. But I know that that's not where I get paid. That's not where I get opportunities. So I know how to balance it. So you need to pay attention to that. So many of you here need to repent from laziness. Laziness in terms of studying high quality material in your industry. Number two, laziness from being lazy to sit and write quality content that can drive mental capacity development for people that matter in your industry. Okay? It's very important. If you will break through to a certain level, to a certain class in the society, you need to know how to do what I'm telling you. You have to pay the price and do it. All right? If that is what I'm talking about, type I repent, because many of you need to repent. You know yourselves. Because if we open all your social media handles right now and see what you have posted or shared in the last 4 days, 5 days, 10 days, even you pity yourself. You're like, where, what was I doing to myself like this? All right. Awesome. Last point, and then we are done. I don't need to give you all the 18. Under these three, if you can go and apply consistently for 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, you come back and testify, and then you pay tithe for what the man of God has done for you. Right. All right. Number 4, and then I can take a few questions and we are done. Number 4, do what I call leveraging media as multipliers of trust. Leverage media as multipliers of trust. Let me tell you something. One of the best things that happened to me was that I started getting featured on the media. When I say media, I'm talking about television especially. Because getting featured on media and then consequently international media did something to my brand. And let me say it this way. There are some brands, there are some individuals, there are some institutions that only work with you when they see you on national and international media outlets. So you need to know how to play the media game. You need to know how to play the media game. And let me tell you something. Let me give you something that the Holy Spirit taught me to do. You see, I'm a believer, and I cannot talk about my career without, I can give you many instances where the God instructed me, do this, like literally. There are some things I have done that I know that I am not that intelligent to do them. I can give you many. See, take God serious. God is more interested in your career more than you do. Selah, let me end there. Let me give you this thing that I started doing, and it enabled me to start getting media. I have been featured on more than 100 media platforms, both TV, national, international, radio, magazines, newspapers, and what have you. Now, like I said, there are some brands, there are some individuals, there are some institutions that will only start working with you and paying you well for their services when they see you on national and international media outlets, including TV, radio, newspapers, magazines, what have you. Now, there is something that I did that enabled me to be seen by these people. How did I do that? You can go practice it, you'll see something. I was already creating high-level content, right? But the Holy Spirit taught me. The Bible says that the Holy Spirit would guide you into all truth, right? He will teach you. It's a teaching spirit, right? I know when this happened. So I'm not guessing. I know that this happened. He said, start when you start writing high-level articles around key issues in business, the economy, and when you write these articles, structure it in a way that a journalist can read and desire to interview you on their program. And when you write these articles, make sure that you tag the journalists on different media platforms that report on issues like this. Let me tell you something. I know journalists on CRTV that report or write on economic issues and business matters. I know that. I know journalists on BBC, Voice of America, France and Cat. I know journalists that focus on economic issues, business matters, and so on. Right? So when Cameroon government releases a new tax law, I will write a high-level article on how that impacts businesses and what they can do. Then I will make sure that I tag every journalist that reports on economic news. 24 hours later, maximum, they always contact me to interview me. This is a major secret. If you go and practice it, let's say you're in healthcare, can you go and study CRTV, study other media outlets? Which journalists mostly report on health matters? Send them a friend request. Start writing when there's a new situation about healthcare, health policy. I don't know whatever that is. Write a thought leadership article around that. Post on social media and then tag them, mention them. I'm telling you, they will start noticing you. Till today, many CRTV journalists, BBC journalists, they still reach out to me for counsel. Guardian Post journalists, many of them, private and public, they reach out to me to comment about issues of national issues, economic issues, business issues, and so on. So did I get there? This is a secret. I did not beg anyone. I used my strategy as the Holy Spirit taught me. It was after a morning of prayer. It just start doing this. And boom, it shifted everything. It shifted everything. I started being interviewed on different media houses. And it opened more until there was a time in CRTV I had a slot on the morning show. Many of you followed that, used to follow that. It used to be Morning Motivation, that was the name. CRTV came to me. I didn't go and beg for it. We want you to start doing videos of 5 minutes each. We want to call it Morning Motivation. That's something that many people lobby for it, even maybe bribe to get it. But they came to me and said, we want you to start doing this. You now see the importance of commanding intellectual capacity in your industry, the importance of not writing anything and everywhere. You need to start to strategically engineer your visibility by writing content that media houses and their journalists cannot ignore. Let me tell you, you cannot rise in the speaking industry without media. Point blank. You hear me? You cannot rise in this business to ever make a name and get paid well without media. You cannot. You need that. I have been invited to speak because they saw on my website, I've indicated media houses where I've been featured. Why? Because here's the mindset, here's how they think. Oh, if CRTV can trust Joybert, if BBC can trust Joybert, that means we can trust him. Due diligence in 30 seconds. That's how many people think. There are some of you that nobody has any reason to trust you. So they doubt your capacity. They doubt what you can bring to the table. Start with your local radio stations. That's where I started. In Kumbu, there's no radio station I never featured in Kumbu. All the radio stations I was featuring in them. Start locally and then start growing. Strategically start engineering visibility by creating content that media houses cannot ignore. Start positioning yourself through deliberately, when you write good articles, tap the journalists, know the journalists, what they call topical relevance content. That way, you begin to secure national and international media features. Many of you here, if you start doing this secret, I'm telling you, it will change your life. But you see, this point 4 depends on point 3. If you are not consistently being good at delivering intellectual capacity or intellectual content, they will not trust you, because journalists want to interview somebody who can talk sense in the industry. People, I am teaching you things that many professional speakers will never show you. And that's why the truth is that, you know that in this industry, there are especially in Cameroon and Africa setting, very few people have made it in ignorance, not because the industry is difficult. Like what I'm teaching you here right now, if I didn't teach you, some of you could have lived 30 years and have never known how to do these things. I'm telling you, that's the power of knowledge. All right. So please leverage media as multiplier of your credibility. It's very important. So how do you apply this? And then we are done. Number 1, start by identifying the media house. That's what I did. I sat down and said, okay, you know what? I identified key media houses. But when this thing happened, I was living in Buea at the time. So I started in Buea. Before I knew it, High TV was inviting me almost every week. High TV, another one was this CCTV, and then Baptist Radio. There's no radio in Buea I've not been interviewed in. And how did they get me? By tagging the journalists online. I'm telling you. And then from there, CRTV started, BBC came in, and many other newspapers came in, and so on. So sit down, look at your city where you are based. Don't start going big yet. Can you conquer the local first? Identify media houses. And then make sure, number 2, you start creating what I call news-worthy content. What I spoke about in point 3. Start writing. Start speaking about issues that affect the industry that you operate in. You see, why? Because journalists, they chase relevance. So give them materials they cannot ignore. Write relevant content. Right? Very important. And then step 3, like I said, begin to tag intentionally. When I'm posting online, if it's something I want a journalist to see or a media house to see, I will tag the journalist, I will tag the media house itself. I would tag sometimes. I would another thing that I miss, like CRTV, they have editors, right? Some big media houses, they have editors. Editors work with the journalists. Some journalists are editors, right? So I did my research. I would know the journalists, and then I would tag the editors of the economic desk, right? So you too can do the research. Which editor in CRTV is responsible for editing news, either in agriculture, education, healthcare, what have you? Do your research and then find their names. Make sure you tag them. It's powerful because this strategic mentioning and tagging helps your content to reach the right eyes and the decision makers in that media house. Few hours, they will start hunting for you. To some extent, many of them now, we are like acquaintances, so they have my number, I have their number. So sometimes now when I write articles like that, I send it to them directly. So when they read and that, they start, okay, I'm working on a program like this. I'll be on the news at this time. Will you like Cameroon, one powerful program that has a name in Cameroon. I don't know if it is still being done, Cameroon Calling. Cameroon calling was being listened by parliamentarians, senators, ministers, the who is who. The day I was interviewed on Cameroon calling, there was a shift in my brand nationally. A shift in my brand nationally. You see, and this is how I got featured on Cameroon calling. Okay, so it's important. Learn to provide expert commentary. You are a speaker because you are an expert in something. So start providing expert commentary. Offer short opinions on current issues in your industry from a practical perspective, like somebody who has sense. Do you not see why, as a speaker, I don't have time to watch movies? That's why we hear that you watch movies every day. You live destiny, you're watching movies. I made a post the other day and I said that, it's today even, I think it's today. Let me read that post. It's on my Facebook page. I think that's the last post I made before coming on. No, I said, when entertainment controls you more than knowledge and wisdom, that is poverty directing your life like a movie director. When entertainment controls you more than knowledge and wisdom, that is poverty directing your life like a movie director. Many of you here are guilty of this. If you are guilty, write guilty. Don't be shy. This is a family meeting. Nobody will see it outside this meeting, right? If you like every day, your consistency and diligence in consuming entertainment. Oh my goodness. We can give you an award, but you cannot bring that same consistency in studying 2 hours every day for 30 days a month. It's not there. Poverty is directing your life like a movie. Many of you are guilty, don't want to write. I see you. I see you there. Go and repent. Because for you to start providing expert commentary, you need to offer something that makes sense. Because journalists need quick insights, and your expertise positions you as a trusted voice in that industry. Okay? So go and start practicing these.